Hi everyone, this is Emily. Today I'll be presenting my creative problem solving final projects. The important issue that I chose to talk about for this assignment is the increased use and prevalence of technology, because I found a lot of studies and a lot of research that said extensive use of technology for young children can lead to a number of issues, and I also know from experience that an increased amount of screen time takes away from valuable time for children that could better be spent learning through play. So through research, I found a lot of negative symptoms for this problem. So increased levels of physical inactivity and obesity is due to the sedentary nature of use of technology, along with the musculoskeletal problems due to posture that children have while sitting in front of the TV or sitting in front of a computer or a tablet. Lower attention spans is due to the readily available materials through technology at the click of a button. Behavioral problems such as increased anxiety and depression levels in young children, as well as aggressive behavior or violent behavior due to exposure at a young age, and sleep problems as well. For the root causes, I use my best judgment on what I know about society and technology today. So popularity and ease of access being a big one for the increased use of technology in young children. Ease of communication. I think a lot of parents like providing younger children with technology options so that they can have a way to keep in touch with them. Some parents also like to use technology as a distraction or a way to keep children quiet, so it is a source of endless entertainment in that way. Targeted marketing. Some companies like YouTube will market specifically for kids with YouTube Kids and everything. So I think that is why there's an increased use of technology for young children. And as well, it can be a great accessible educational tool. So for exploring solutions through divergent thinking, if we did nothing about this issue, I think our society would be filled with children who possess serious physical and mental health issues, and who would also lack important skills like creativity. If we were living in a perfect world, I would prefer to see young children who are using technology solely as an educational tool that would promote critical thinking and creativity. And also those children would have set time restrictions and limitations for the amount of the screen time. And it would be based on age and development level. With little to no money and time, I think the least we could do is educate parents and caregivers on the detrimental effects that an increased use of technology has on young children. So this could be done through sharing statistics by word of mouth. That would be the fastest way to spread awareness. For that reason, I have awareness ranked first, and again, informing and educating parents and caregivers on the negative effects. This could be done through word of mouth easily, but also through seminars, hanging posters, and by truly highlighting the symptoms of the problem and emphasizing the importance will be extremely helpful in raising awareness due to young children's brains developing and them growing each and every day. Second, I ranked Band-Aids because I think informing parents and caregivers on enforcing limitations and restrictions for screen time is extremely important for this issue, but also really is only a Band-Aid because most adults don't enforce their own limitations on technology use. I know I don't, so it might be harder for parents and caregivers to do so with their children as well. Education is ranked third because I found an amazing research journal that highlighted using illustrated children's books to outline the dangers of the internet and also address technology addiction issues. I think that would be a great resource for both parents and children. And then I also found research that many schools and child development programs completely ban the use of technology altogether as a restrictive measure. And although that's not ideal, at least we know that children in these programs are not receiving any negative effects while they're away at school or a child care program because they are restricting and having limitations on it. And finally, I thought of some blue sky ideas. So if only there was a medical or scientific solution that would prevent technology addiction and those negative physical and mental health problems. I know that we have blue light screens because the blue light from technology can be detrimental to our mental health, especially right before going to bed, so that could be causing the sleep problems for younger children. But yeah, I just wish there was a surefire solution to preventing addiction and all of the mental health and physical health problems that come with this issue. And then also creation of an app or a website that could actually power off your devices altogether after a specific amount of time would be a great way to enforce restrictions and limitations. And I know that iPhones have a setting like that, but with a simple input of your password, you can go right back to scrolling on your phone. So this would be a more serious app or website where you would have to put in a specific amount of time that you would want your device to power off for, and it would not turn on until that time limit was up. I think I could really benefit from some sort of app or website like that. And my best fit idea is a combination of raising awareness of the negative effects and the symptoms for local parents and caregivers, while also providing information on enforcing those restrictions and limitations for the technology use. And I think the best way to do this is through a weekly communication. This could be different communication each week, word of mouth, flyers, posters, pamphlets, etc., through the local, state, or government level programs. And this would be followed up with feedback and data from the parents and caregivers, as well as talking to older children who understand and know if they are enforcing restrictions and limitations, just to truly see if they are being enforced. So these are my action steps for this idea. Firstly would be to determine the best mode of weekly communication. And I included this because I feel like it would depend on the community. Secondly would be to obtain the materials for this mode of communication, paper, poster board, and actually create it. Third would be to distribute it, and hopefully the goal is for the information to be different each week because it is the combination of providing statistics and information on the negative effects of this issue, as well as providing resources for enforcing limitations and restrictions on screen time. Fourthly would be to ask for feedback and collect data if the parents or caregivers do impose restrictions. Fifth would be to compile the data and adjust the mode of communication in accordance to it to hopefully get more positive feedback. And finally, checking in with those older children to see if the parents and caregivers are really enforcing those restrictions and limitations. So here is the action plan I created with Convergent Thinking. And I want to point out specifically the potential difficulties and the successes. So I do realize that This data could be skewed because not all parents or caregivers would ideally participate, but in my opinion, positive feedback in any form is better than no feedback or no progress at all. So I think success would look like positive parent feedback and actual enforcement of restrictions and limitations for those young children. And this would be evaluated through collecting the feedback from parents and caregivers and the data as well as from the children. So that is my final project. Thank you all for listening, and I've really enjoyed this course, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their summer.